the record button. As we're all
on the map.
clearly very... I think Senia said something. Now I'm concerned. Oh, no.
Big bird.
Big bird. It is a big bird. There's a... Why is my camera so
Oh, sorry. It's a little too early.
weird? It is, too. Oh, is my camera going to stay
Now I
down?
got it.
I didn't
Here
know
she
what
is.
to... Didn't know what to put there for...
She's here.
I didn't know what to put there for, like, that's a rock. I need to remember there's a rock on the board. Exactly how many build points does one get in giant fried chicken? These are the questions we have to ask today on the next episode of Princess Kato and Friends, aka Kingmaker, the Chronicles of Concordia, kaiju fights in temples, and other names as well. Thank you to the 5 of you for your support, hanging out, keeping me pandemic-proof, and living the coolest life and having the coolest job on the face of the planet. Essentially, I appreciate the hell out of it. I will go ahead and... I'm going to type roll 1d5. I think I might need to choose people for the in-character reflection for last time's Let's Split Up gang, followed closely by the party being able to take out a 14th level cleric. It was very good. Got him indeed.
Dude got stomped.
Slashed, slooshed, poked. Horse, yeah, there was literally a stomp attack or two in there. That's fair, we'll take it. Okay, cool. Any volunteers?
I'll actually go, just because for the first time in a little while I don't have anything prepared.
No, fair enough. Alright, buddy, you got it.
So I'm playing Arcturus. I'm an Inquisitor of Abaddon, doing crossbow things. And I'm human. That's true too. The reason I didn't really feel like a reflection was good here is because I think my character would be pretty withdrawn right now, and the timing of it with Arbiter just kind of vanishing. He certainly wouldn't show a lot of emotion, but he would be feeling a bit more like it'd be like when he first arrived, when there was like nobody here. So there's a little bit of an emptiness there, and not just in a like that was my buddy sense, but also in that was my familiar sense that has just vanished. So he's pretty concerned about that. Probably that's where his mind is right now. In fact, I can say with certainty because I'm playing him, that is where his mind is right now. Other than that, though, yeah, obviously striking down the Gorham bro was a moment of triumph, but at what cost?
You lost your only friend.
Basically, look who I'm with, especially right now. So, with that, my reflection is hereby over.
This is a very Abaddon way to say that the reflection is done. Good, well done. Proud of you, buddy. Hero point for you, and we...
Nice.
Anybody want to volunteer
Kato.
for nexties?
Kato will go next.
Kato will go.
Right, no. Go. People can go if you
Don't
want.
keep doing that.
Such a polite king.
Okay. Well, I play Kalira Ashling, and I'm a half-elf barbarian of the superstitious ilk. And last session, I really hate the outdoors. It's just nothing everywhere, and it's very depressing. And then I have this boring one on one hand, and then I have the knot witch on the other. At least I got to cut up a giant bed. That was fun, I suppose. And then, I got invited to dinner. It should be interesting. That's it.
All right.
Dinner party with a Hell Knight.
Dinner party with the Hell Knight. Surely that goes bad for no one. Good. Hero point for you, buddy. Oh, Kato. My lord.
Sicarius. First of his name, protector of the realm. So Kato's a little, he's a little disheveled right now because, the deal that he set up with the Tiger Lords to have Arcturus assassinated by their high priest didn't go all according to plan.
Yeah, hate to see it.
No, he's actually super pumped. So the Tiger Lords have been a thorn in our rear end for the since we got here almost. It started with the destruction of our carriage and the death of our horses and rider or driver, I guess you could call. And then what else did they do to it? They've done a bunch of other things. They sent I think they were behind the hag cultists, at least in some manner or another. They've just been this pain in the butt, and we haven't been able to do anything about it because they're all the way over in the northwestern side of the world. That it's just way too much effort to get over there. However, in our travels and explorations, it seems like they were foolish enough to step just a little too close to our territory, and they had the audacity to set up in an abandoned keep that is literally on our borders. And so we went in there and we busted them up. And I think we've paid them back many times over for what they've done to us at this point. Killing what is the equivalent of their high priest, I guess. Hopefully, he seemed pretty important and pretty powerful. So the Tiger Lords are definitely going to realize that we're not ones to be messed with, and hopefully they'll just leave us alone from now on. I think that's realistic.
Yeah, so realistic.
Yep, you guys are too tough. We're just gonna leave, and you guys can have this whole area. We don't want any trouble. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. So.
What do you mean the Taldans can also become large? Oh shit! We need to go back to Numeria. And then that was that.
As for the character, real quick for all the folks at home who don't know, Kato is a multi-classing monster. So he's level 8. He is a level 1 Aldori Sword Lord, a level 4 Swashbuckler of the Rosalind Bravo archetype, a level 2 Monk of the Master of Many Styles archetype, and a level 1 Fighter of the Weapon Master archetype.
Gotta get that Classicopia. As I see in the general chat, just, yo, pretty sure if you don't list all your classes and archetypes, you don't get your hero point, my dude. Or I'll wait! Beautiful. And yes, indeed, hero point for you, slayer of my favorite NPC of Chris Avalone's creation, basically. As it falls to Terra and Ionia. Senia and Zeresh. Alright, take it.
So I don't have anything written down either. It's just been 2 crazy weeks, but Senia finally ran into her old nemesises. Is that a word?
Nemesis?
MCs. I don't know.
Or is it like moose is the singular and the plural the same thing?
Senia feels a little bit a sense of vindication, having had slain the high priest and a bunch of his cronies, and having had inflicted some financial pain, as the high priest mentioned.
The Tiger Lords will never financially recover from this.
That was a good joke. I laughed at that. So yeah, Senia feels pretty vindicated and pretty a little bit on top of the world, I think, having had come out of this encounter unscathed, more or less. She is, as far as her class goes, she is a level 8 barbarian of the Geminate Invoker type, level 4, and 4 levels into Phalanx Warrior. And she has a horse that is, in a lot of ways, her companion. That is the... What do you call that class? The Totem Guide.
Totem Guide, yeah.
So, there. That's where Senia is.
So, there. Alright, fair enough.
So there.
Alright.
I guess that leaves me, huh?
Falls to you.
Alright, I'm playing Ioni Assel, a mostly occultisty human. And to keep it pretty brief, I, like Tara, had kind of a crazy couple of weeks. Was excited to get an opportunity to get to know Grunluke a little better. I don't think my character had ever actually spoken to him, but we've got some things in common, so it was nice, kind of a little more officially meeting him. And so proud of my good boy for saving him from falling to his death, and also all of his magnificent bleed damage on that giant bird. That's what I've got.
Bork. Alrighty, fair enough. Hero points all around as we take it on back, heading on down to the one of many. God, I keep forgetting I put Big Bird on the map to show where the rock is. Damn it. Okay, cool. That's fun. So on the overworld map, I almost wonder if we just flip a coin really quickly. Yeah, let's do that. Easiest way to do it.
Flip.
Heads or tails, Teebs?
Tails.
The call is tails. Would you like to receive?
Well, I mean, man, see, you put it that way. Now I can't. Yeah, they can go first. Fuck.
All right. The ball does not go to the Concordia. God, I'm brain farting. Foxes. There we go. But instead, over here, as we bop back over to leaving the abandoned keep, it's Artoris, it's Senia, it's Kato, it's Jubilost.
I want to start the second half with the ball, guys.
I know, it's a good strategy.
That's gonna be pretty. I think we're just gonna head into the troll lair, scoop, like loot and scoot. I'm sure there's nothing in there, and then make our way back. Hopefully. Oh wait, we're gonna bring a dude back. Well, we'll do that. We'll try to find.
Yeah.
Right, we need to find what's her name on the way back.
So Senya, she trussed up the dead high priest and kind of flopped him over Grom's back. So.
Oh, we're should tie a rope to his ankle and just drag him behind you.
You got to make sure the head's intact if you're going to speak with that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, fine. Yeah. Kato's as you're tying him up and strapping him to the back of Grom, he's just cocks his head a bit. We could just throw him on the wagon.
Senya shrugs.
I mean, all right, you do.
Good.
You want to carry? No, I get it. I totally understand. You want to
Trophy of the hunt
show
and all
off your
that.
trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can respect that. He nods. Meanwhile, we're scooping all of the treasure onto the wagon.
I'd call you murder hobos, but in this game, you definitively have a place to live, so...
True.
Got him!
Got him.
Okay, so as y'all make your way down south towards where... Yes?
Before we leave, as we depart, Artoris, who has been rather quiet, gives a forlorn look back at the keep, looking around, sees nothing, and continues with the crew.
Alrighty. I will allow one more spellcraft check from you.
Somewhere out there.
God damn it!
And
just
nevertheless...
Not get the time to burn your hero point. You need something that gives you a reroll to spell.
Arbiter had been here, he would have given me an 11 on that.
Yeah. Oh, whoops, I opened Ionia. I didn't mean to open Ionia. I meant to open Jubilost. The wrong Inti character. Juby! Clap! The push to talk button holds my hand. I cannot do the clapping anymore. So I can do that. That's just annoying. I won't do that. That's rude. How about you, buddy? You got this?
I believe.
Oh, look at you guys. You guys are
We just look at each other like...
Both shrug and shake their head.
I mean, he rolled pretty good. He's just at a -2 for some reason.
He just doesn't. He has, the rank to open it, and that's about it. He looks at you, he flips through a couple of books, just kind of trails off, stares off into space a little bit, goes to, actually, Jubilost pulls a hood up over, his cloak in such a way as to cover his partially aquamarine, partially the beginnings of the bleaching hair. And as y'all head south around
quick.
about this square,
Sorry, Tommy. I just kind of realized that I just want to say one thing to Artoris before we leave, because Kato is completely oblivious to all of this kind of stuff. As he sees the sadness on his face and witness the little floaty orb, kind of pop out of existence, he's gonna say that another one has fallen in service to Concordia. I don't know what the proper funeral rites are for someone such as the Arbiter, but when we return, we will make arrangements of some sort to honor his sacrifice.
I would say nothing, but I would give a slow, hesitant, very subtle nod.
more of a twitch, really.
Yeah.
Okay, and as
And now-
y'all... Oh, go ahead, I'm so sorry.
I said, and now I'm done interrupting you.
Okay. Dank. We got there. We did it. Perception checks as you get in that hex, please.
That was a 3, really?
The power of the Inquisitor knows no bounds.
That's it's bringing it home for us.
Okay, so as y'all head south, the Gnarl Marches, like, you come to a pretty sizable hill, and when you crest it, you get a pretty good look over the surrounding region. All of you got it. Looking over in the direction in which so long ago Kato challenged a dragon. In that clearing, because you can very clearly pick out that spot. It's like the only clearing in this part of the Gnarl Marshes, really. There's this like greenish yellowish mist rising up from the clearing.
There's a phylactery over there.
Wait, so is it similar to that? Does it have that sulfuric scent like the first time we got here?
You're a little too far
Chlorine
off
scent.
to smell it now. If
Okay.
the wind were to blow it your way, maybe, but
What way's the wind blowing?
all right,
Yeah,
I'll roll a
licks her
d8.
finger and
He's
rape.
I'm making him roll the wind.
Wait, real quick, was the clearing to the tile to the west of Amalia's, or was it somewhere else? I'm forgetting exactly where it was.
It was right there.
Oh.
Or was it there? God,
Oh.
now I'm forgetting too. I'm gonna say it's there because I thought it was there.
Yeah, I think it was a little further away from Amalia's.
Yeah. Because this was like right going to the trolls area. It's the adjacent hex.
It was after the Uruxi village, so yeah, that would have to be this one.
Okay.
So the wind is blowing from Concordia to you, but you notice it doesn't seem to disturb the cloud at all.
I mean,
Roll spellcraft, maybe?
Yeah, spellcraft could be a thing you'd roll, or various knowledge checks.
Let me try knowledge religion, actually. Well, no, wait. Knowledge
Yeah.
arcana? We'll go net religion, because it's good. I am
He's
rolling
gonna-
like crap.
She's gonna try and think back of where she's maybe seen this kind of mist before while traversing nature.
Alrighty. So far as the nature check goes, what that looks like is as if somebody had just
Somebody had just what?
sorry, I let off the push start to try to paste the thing. As if a green dragon had fired off its breath weapon and the breath weapon just stayed there, as if somehow it was a permanent fixture. The closest thing you can think in nature where you might have seen this before would be like very, very thick fog. That said, Arcturus, I think, has it. I gotta check CRs really quickly. What you're looking at is, in fact, not like, just wait till my brother gets here. It's not the Three Green Dragons gruff or anything like that. More, God, that would be a campaign in itself. More so, what you're looking at is the after effects of what happened there. Like, lots and lots and lots and lots of sentient creatures lost their lives in that spot all at once. And when that happens, it's not uncommon for it to leave a residual scar on the land itself, usually in the form of a bunch of souls that don't have the capability to move on. Mechanically, you're looking at a haunt. What the haunt does is hard to say from where you are, but think of it as like a arcane trap kind of thing.
God, we have Senya with us.
Generally speaking, the only ways to get rid of a haunt are to, much like with a ghost, go and like find the thing that caused the haunt, set it right, put the souls to rest, or like liberally applied positive energy will also do it. But also a Geminid Invoker is neat.
Happen to have a country bumpkin equivalent of a medium in our group.
Yeah.
I assume you're...
Yeah, I would
share this
relay that information.
Senya's eyes widen.
Don't speak for Senya. Senya's like, I mean, yeah, her eyes widen.
Got him.
She's concerned and intrigued at the same time, since that is where we have slain the dragon. She's like, her mind immediately goes to Ghost Dragon scenario there. So she is definitely interested in finding out more about what's going on there, but I think she also currently thinks there are more pressing matters at the moment than visiting that haunt.
Fine, we can split our group up again. Two go to the troll lair, and two go to the haunt. Let's just eventually we'll just be single. We'll just be, you know.
Have I told you how much I hate you?
Xenia also thinks that Ionia would be interested in hearing about this. So she'd like to. She can't wait to get back to the city and like tell Ionia about the findings here and her adventures here.
Alrighty. And as you bop over closer to where Hargulka was, well, not even rumored, Jubilost is with you, he found it. Over that direction, you find sizable feline footprints in the marsh heading that direction.
Oh, those.
Ate all of our loot. Well,
Feline footprints. What could have feline footprints? Nothing that we've found so far.
Xenia's gonna try and figure out.
They're almost certainly the footprints of a Smilodon.
Okay.
Or, in other words, a saber-toothed tiger, or, in other words, a dire tiger. They are lots of things. Mean is all of them. And these are a little bigger than you would expect to find, even from a creature that's about as big as Grom. They are typically solitary hunters, coming together only to mate or to, like, basically that. Other than that, it's a reasonable assumption, because the Tiger Lords will, like, they consider the Smilodon to be their totem animal.
Is that what we let out of the pit?
That was a thylacine.
That was seen.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
More so, it
Oh, I
appears
know
the Tiger
about
Lords
that.
have probably
Wow.
taken over this place as well.
Okay, so it makes sense. Yeah, they're moving in on our western border, basically. The abandoned keep was a strategic position. The Trolls Lair could also be a strategic position. And there's tracks of one of their totem animals here, so... not our friend.
Not our friend! Abort!
So
Right.
it is going in the direction of the cave, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
The Hargulka's lair was an old dwarven outpost. Like a tower that had been built up.
Can I survival to see how long ago these tracks were made? Did we already determine?
You could certainly try to get better than a 12.
Okay then.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, they
Plus
appear
4 if it qualifies. I don't know.
relatively fresh-ish, maybe in the past week or so. A little more disturbingly, since you rolled a little better. You go looking around, and they're really subtle bits of, like, fauna, or excuse me, bits of the flora, I always fuck those up, that have been moved around, disturbed, or otherwise not the way they should be, but only slightly, indicating that humanoids either very good at covering their tracks, or you think a little more logically, humanoids who can move through nature without disturbing it have come through as well. Something on the order of like a druid or a shaman.
I would relay that as well.
Are we able to kind of figure out how many?
Looks like
Imagine.
only the one Smilodon track. You'd probably be more concerned about whoever's moving through nature, though.
I imagine
Probably
we
just-
can't determine how many of them there are, right? Because it's if they're that good at moving.
No, it would appear... I guess, yeah, Arcturus, as you go looking around, you can find some, like, heavier booted humanoid footprints in the ground that have, like... It looks like nature tried to reclaim them very quickly, but was not quite, like, didn't have the time to. Probably about a dozen or so, maybe more. Probably more. You imagine for every one you find, there's 2 more that you do not.
And fresh-ish was how you described them. Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay. Well, I think we might have more friends up ahead.
I think you're right.
This bloody incursion is appears to be deeper than we originally thought.
We certainly held our own back there, but we want to try our luck another time.
I would like to take at least scope out the dwarven ruin, see what we see how it looks. Jubilost and his little what's his name did a pretty good job scouting the keyless. What's the fairy dress?
Parlavash?
Parlavash. There we go.
Austin, what's his name?
That guy that trolled you for like 3 sessions.
Yeah. Though he's begun to make amends for his transgressions at this point. He's been pretty valuable, so pretty helpful.
I start to turn to look where Arbiter would be, who would be excellent on such a mission, and then I
And then you are sad.
You sink.
Wow.
Jubilost.
Yes.
Can you do that excellent scouting work you did earlier with the abandoned keep and scout on ahead to see what we're looking at as far as this outpost is concerned?
He nods. Perlavash pops out of his backpack, leans forward. They chitter back and forth. Be right back. And he snaps his fingers as invisible and starts bopping his way forward. What do the three of you want to do while they're gone?
I think we would continue to approach, but at a much slower and cautious pace.
Okay. Works for
Basically,
us.
I say we would stop once like visual, like once we had a visual of the tower in the distance, if it's not already visible.
I'm probably going pretty slow because I'm on sort of high alert that we have an opponent that is really good at blending with nature. That's got
Agreed.
me concerned that they could be like watching us right now, basically.
Yeah, very cautiously, and I would almost say Kato would have sword in hand as he slowly sort of trudges over through this forested area. Head on a swivel, so to speak.
Alrighty. I suppose then if folks are looking out, perceptions and survivals are good.
Come on, man!
It's fine, dude.
That was a 5.
Still
Oh.
23.
Destroyed.
You're still out rolling, like.
Yeah, but if they're like actively hiding, you might. I don't know.
This is true. This is
feel like
true.
You need something good.
So despite your best efforts, looking around, walking incredibly slowly, not screwing around at all, business is the only thing happening today. You don't see anybody in the woods as you approach the side of the hill where the tower into the back bits of the fortress are built. You do find several more Smilodon tracks. They vary in size. In some cases, they're about what you would expect, about like your standard. In some cases, they're about size and a half again. You also find much more like fresh traces of a Smilodon's passing the closer you get. Not a kill, but like places where the Smilodon has like stripped off bits of bark of a tree or like droppings, things like that.
So there's
Looks like
more
they-
of them.
Yeah, it's not just one druid and his pet. So it was my original thoughts of some druid and his companion were just skulking around, but it looks like there might be more. Senya,
Yes, my lord.
in the attack on your village, did you come across these creatures, these feline predators?
I imagine she would.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you can say pretty much without a shadow of a doubt, this is also the work of the Tiger Lords. Then
Looks like it. Yes. And they are fairly vicious creatures. They'll sink their teeth into your side and tear you to shreds.
Jubilost eventually returns. Perlavash kind of like circling overhead. Perlevash reports 3. Sort of patrolling outside. One imagines it's hard to fit them through the door. If I'm quite honest with you, I'm not sure how the trolls fit in there in the first place. Doors being sized for dwarves and all. Smilodons appear to be just out patrolling. Certainly they would be able to scent anyone going in less than visible. I'm fortunate enough to have my friend here. Otherwise I would have just walked right into them and, well, perhaps half of me, broken and bloody, would return. Appears they have archers in the tower. The door has been shut. No flags, though. No sigildry, no heraldry. Just wandering animals.
So, an enclosed fort with archers and towers and vicious cats in the front. And I assume there's no broken wall to sneak in this time.
No. In this case, it's like... Oh god, math is hard. Like, just under half of a rectangle sticking out from a wall, basically. Like someone stone-shaped out the fortress.
Do you think it would be more dangerous to storm this fortress or go back to Kalira without having opened that chest with that key?
Hard to say.
It is hard to say, actually.
Roll insight.
Roll insight. Sense motive.
Okay, so 3 cats in the front, a couple archers overseeing, and the door's shut, but we have a key. Maybe. If this key works on the door. Is it like a... What kind of door are we talking? Like a big-ass, like... drawbridge style door? Or...
More like...
Yeah, what does a dwarf door look like?
I think like the gates to Moria, but a little less magic-y. There is one big slab of stone in the stone that has a hinge on it, more or less.
Oh. Speak friend and enter.
Ah, yes, why didn't I think of that? Surely I wouldn't be eaten to death by tigers at that rate. Yes, indeed. Fortunately, my hallet is a little rusty.
Well, I'll put it... What do you guys think? Are you up for another? I don't know how wounded. I'm in great shape. I'm not. I didn't basically get so much as a scratch in that last conflict. And we have cats fighting. 1 second.
Story of
Tiger
my
Lords.
life.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well other than my familiar not existing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a downer.
So your power level's cut down to like a third then.
Not that bad. I still
Let's be
feel
real.
like if there are, 2 archers? Is that how it was described?
They don't seem to be sure. The
okay.
the arrow slits come out of a tower, quote unquote, which is just like stone shaped out of the rock face.
Okay.
That's
so,
gonna be...
Yeah, that's nasty. We'd have if it's that type of tower or watchtower, then we need to get inside before we can even deal with that. And then there's the cats in the front, which we'll have to fight while the archers shoot us. This just seems like a much more heavily defensible position than the abandoned keep was.
Ergo, probably more high priority. One wonders why, and Jubilost looks over in the direction of the war priest who's strapped to Grom. One wonders why he wasn't here. Strange, is it not?
He did mention that he was looking for something.
Well, he might have been.
Maybe it's nothing but foot soldiers inside, if he was in command.
Perhaps.
All right, so we have 3 cats, some archers, and the door we'd have to push open.
And possibly more
Side, yeah.
fortified by more magic users of nature, as since Arcturus pointed out that the tracks involved more than just Smilodon tracks. There are definitely people here that are more adept at hiding.
This indeed would make sense. And though I did not go into the fortifications when I was here last, certainly I would not want to go storming into ancient dwarven halls. Well, anything from traps to false doors to... You hear tell of the ancient dwarven fortresses, the sky citadels, not far from here, actually. Just literally made to confuse and confound people as they wander around lost. Also, I assume there's no light in there unless the Tiger Lords have brought torches in themselves, until you just wear yourself out, get lost, and then overwhelmed by its defenders. Not nearly as easy as an abandoned keep. Though, possibly easier than dealing with Kalira after.
And Jubilost, you're all Mr. Negativity. I mean, I know you almost died, like, 5 minutes ago, so I can see your reluctance.
No, far be it from me. If you think we're good enough to storm the gates, then we should storm the gates.
I probably... I don't think... I don't know, I'm...
Senya,
As angry as this will make Kalira, I think we need to... if we're going to do this, we need to do it properly. I think we need to mount a proper offensive with all of our resources. Or at least enough, more than what we have now.
yeah, like this, the tower is much better fortified than the abandoned keep. Senya feels that we'd have better odds if we had our full strength with us.
Indeed. Well, is that consensus?
And it sounds... I'm a little disappointed. I think we could have done it. I will keep that thought to myself as the two of them voice feelings to the contrary.
Alrighty. Then meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Kalira, Ionia, Grinluke, Bakken, Minoru, Big Bird, the six of you got... I clearly am not adult enough. I have to delete Big Bird. I can't do it. Y'all make your way back. For ease of time, the hexes you're moving through, you get a quick check. There's nobody there. You make it. The next stimuli happens as you reach the Sootscale Estates. As the wagon is wagoning its way back home, you turn the corner, and the militia has, like, they are out. They are patrolling from building to building. Weapons are drawn. Arrows are, like, knocked, maybe not pulled all the way back, but they're not in the quiver. The chief is... You see him, like, over in the back, standing on top of a bunch of boxes, trying to coordinate things. And, like, in general, people who are too old or too young to have done anything combatively are all herded up somewhere where, like, they can be kept safe. Like, a quick triage center has been created. And the floor passes to the other side.
Can I sense motive on what they're doing here? Does it look like they're just doing, like, general training, or does it look like they're preparing for something specific?
Looks a little more like something happened. Like, some of the militia are armed with just short sword. Yeah, like, some of their weapons have obvious signs of use, whether, like, not the best made short sword that somebody brought in has been, like, a bit has been nicked off, or in some cases quivers are, like, half empty. You wouldn't go so far as to be like, there was an attack here, because, like, they're not... No one seems hurt, but clearly something went down.
You said Sootscale is kind of overseeing this?
Yeah, he's, like... You see him, like, as you turn the corner in the back, just kind of, like, coordinating stuff. You can't really hear him. But, like, he says something, he points a direction, and, like, 20, 30-odd members of the militia go that direction.
Well, I suppose I'll approach him, then. Chief Sootscale, what's going on here? Is everything okay?
Oh, Ionia! Yes, of course. Everything's fine. My tribe returned.
They did.
Not long after you left, actually. Reanimated. In the caverns.
Reanimated.
He nods.
Out of character, doesn't that typically mean they were, like, dead or petrified or something of that nature?
Yes. He seems to be referring to, like, when he says reanimated, where Ionia's mind would go would be, like, zombies. I don't think necessarily all of them. I wasn't exactly counting. The reports came in not long after you left. We organized the militia, and we drove them out. We're actually quite lucky. He turns and, like, as this conversation is happening, a couple of the Ash Maidens come up. He turns and there's, like, a quick report about something that happened somewhere of inconsequence, basically. He nods and they go off. If not for a full almost dozen folks able to fight like Kalira, and built about like me, we might not have got them all. The tunnels are not necessarily conducive to people of your stature. You understand?
I'm sorry you had to experience that. Are you holding up okay?
At least I know where they went. At least their souls can move on. Most of them. You'll forgive me if I didn't have an exact head count of my population. But we've been busy the past few days. Presently, we're just doing a sweep, apartment to apartment. Going down into the tunnels, making sure we got all the bastards. Removing the traps. I suppose that's the benefit of hiring a bunch of local yokels who are used to hunting in the woods. Turns out when you see a friend of yours who you used to drink with every night, and then he's reanimated and mindless and coming at you to bite you, he doesn't exactly pay attention to the bear trap. There's like this half-hearted smile crosses the chief's face.
I'll kind of pat his shoulder. It seems like you made quick work of them. Doesn't look like anybody is injured.
No, again, we happened to get pretty advance warning. The undead are not exactly quiet. Happened in the middle of a shift. Everyone was able to evacuate safely. I organized the militia, organized the Ash Maidens, and we cleared them out.
Well, Kalira, Buck, and Grenluke and I recently disposed of a rock not too far off. So we do have some supplies we can feed your men.
He nods.
And I suppose we should be looking into this matter further. Zombies aren't exactly just made without cause.
No, they tend to not just spring up out of holes in the ground, no. Don't suppose you happen to find where our friend is staying?
Unfortunately, no. We found new friends, as it were.
Oh, what fresh hell is this?
Well, funny you should mention hell.
Eh?
Well, they're Hell Knights.
Splendid. I suppose they want to tax us into the ground, or chase me for witchcraft, or some other whatever they want to come up with.
Well, I'm a bit new in the position, but as long as I am Marshal, they won't be coming into our territory. Not without a fight, anyway.
Fair enough. Certainly and like, as you look around, some of the militia, in particular those who are just kind of like folks who have been out hunting and know how to use a bow, they're carrying themselves a little more securely with their weapons and armor than they would be in training. Every like 5 or 10 or so that you see is led by either like a sword bro or In some cases, probably an Ash Maiden or two. Honestly, we handled it better than I thought we would. These local yokels really know how to fight. Or at least how to set bear traps and watch kobold zombies walk into them and then shoot them when they get stuck. I suppose that's fighting. For being a kobold, I really don't like traps, do I? Weird. Take that, Tucker. And as this is happening, probably all 10 of the Ash Maidens, plus like various recruits, come by and they give you, Kalira, a general report, more of the same. A bunch of kobold, in some cases mites, in some cases like bigger centipedes, all reanimated as zombies showed up. There's been a few days of just seek and destroy, basically. 0 casualties, because mechanically, y'all didn't want to do the big kingdoms and war stuff or rolling dice for things. But you did put effort into training your folks, making special divisions, so on and so forth. Mechanically, no losses. It was a resounding win for Concordia.
Well done, maidens. Well done. You've done me proud. You've certainly earned your names this day, haven't you?
There's just a yes, ma'am. They nod. They've taken to the foxes will nod in unison. All 10 of which have survived.
Important.
Well, I suppose celebration is in order. Yes, after a good battle, isn't it? I mean, we have this very bloody carriage, and on top of it is a very large bird. I suppose we could take it back to Rooston, have a bit of a feast, yeah?
Another resounding yes, ma'am! You say feast, and people start looking at this, enormous bird that is just riding on the back of the wagon.
Well, then so be it. We should have much to celebrate when the rest come back with all of our treasure.
Yes, indeed. I hear they were going to go raid the troll's lair for treasure. Certainly they will come back with many riches, and not dead.
Of course. Right. It should be easy. I mean, we killed the trolls, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Meanwhile, on the other side, do y'all... A squad, Class 1A.
Storm the gates!
Stop the gates!
Senya
2 archers on the roof!
Yeah.
Senya feels a strange disturbance. Something about maybe we should raid the troll lair after all.
That's what the guy was talking to shit.
Yeah, Kato's got this tingling feeling in the back of his head, and he's like, you know what? Maybe we're being a little too scared here.
By the power of Jack Black.
What are a couple, kitty cats and,
archers that we can't get through?
Yeah.
And maybe more.
I mean, that was certainly my thought.
Yet you didn't voice it. Why? Just curious.
Because he's sad because his friend got sent far away.
What do you mean? I just sort of look at him annoyed.
He died.
Anyway, Class 1A. Heading back, I guess my next question for you guys is, do you want to skirt the haunt or nah?
I mean, that's up to Senya.
Well, Senya's only attempted a channel a haunt once. If Senya fails, she could get possessed, and then you have a possessed barbarian on your hand.
Sounds like a regular Tuesday.
Typical Tuesday here in Concordia.
Possession, undead, incursions, which, cultists.
I think it's best to, when we're at full strength coming in this direction, to deal with this secondary incursion, perhaps we should stop and deal with this as well. But for now, I think we should find out what we can from that one, in a manner of speaking.
True. Let's not try to bite off more than we can chew.
He may provide us with valuable information that can help us.
It's true. All right, so I'm going to redraw our... So instead of going down to the troll lair and around, we're going to cut through here and make the approach back by the Uruxi village looking for...
Dazia.
And I won't draw the rest of the line because the rest is...
Sure, got it.
fine.
Okay, so quick mathing. Yeah, y'all will... Class 1A or Class 1B will probably reach Roost in like 8 hours before y'all do. Y'all have some crappy terrain to move through. Nevertheless, you do, without being attacked by things, make it back to the Uruxi village, which has been, like, as you approach, you notice what barricades existed have been taken down. There are still Uruxi present, but they seem to be mostly just, like, packing up. Getting what provisions were stored here, stored in other places, and loading them onto, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it, barges. Like, you wouldn't call it a raft, it's far too big, but you wouldn't call it a boat, because it's just a big, flat, floating thing.
Do I spot Dazia anywhere among them?
Yeah, she's probably, like, at the center of the... going along the murky river. Just, like, loading things herself onto as many barges as she can find.
Xenia will call out to Dazia.
Ah!
In
Well.
Uruxi.
Uruxi.
Yeah, she learned Uruxi.
Accent is a little... It leaves something to be desired.
Dazia, my friend.
The accent leaves something to be desired, but you do your best. Hail, she bows. What can I do to help you?
Well, we ran into some of our old enemies back out west.
Yes?
Xenia kind of lifts up the dead high priest's head in, like, display, like a trophy displayed, and then she drops it and the head kind of limply goes back down. As we fought them, the high priest talked something about trying to find something when we ran into him. And then I think there's more Tiger Lord forces that are close by, and we think that he might have some valuable information on the strength and their numbers, and perhaps he can tell us what it is that they were looking for out here.
And you'd like me to speak with him?
Would you? Pretty please?
She smiles. I can certainly try. To the SRD, I need his will save. So she, as this is happening, folks all around her are still just like, it becomes pretty clear that they're packing up all of their stuff here and taking it somewhere else. She excuses herself from the general bustle of that as her people continue, like, just hauling everything and loading everything places. She begins the ritual.
Wait.
If I can just find...
I just realized I didn't know he gets to make a will save against this. Uh-oh.
He does.
He was like a 10 billion cleric.
Not
I'm
10
sure
billion.
he'll-
He was a 13. Level 13 cleric of Gorum. Ah, he can try.
Oh, thought we were gonna have to clear it. But I guess that's kind of a fucking moot point anyway. Sorry.
Let me just make sure that's will negates. I'm pretty sure it's will negates. You use it, but
Throw him in the river.
Yeah. So, Dazia casts the spell. Let me just... I'm sure my DCs aren't in the 30s. They can't be, right? That'd be so good if they were. Oh, poop. No, they wouldn't be. Not quite. She finishes the casting. The priest's head stirs a little, kind of like rolls around, as if to like crack his neck, basically. Looks up, blinks, and then the body falls limp again. Well, he's particularly cantankerous.
I would imagine he is not happy about being dead and all.
Well, if you are willing to wait a week, I can try again. Presuming we have some... Well, actually, on that note, and she puts her hand on the body. She begins chanting, and what rot has started to set in on Old Boy's body, like, immediately fades away, as if he were just sleeping, tied onto a horse. This should keep him for a while. Ask me again in 7 days. I can try again.
Speaking of stuff, will you still be here? Well, it looks like you're all packing up to leave.
Suppose we should talk about that, yes. In between talk of one of the dead ones rising, talk of the foe appearing on our border, my people tell me of trolls that smell of green dragons being vomited from some vitriolic mist. We think it would be best if we close ranks for the time being. There is not a lot of precedent for this, and many of us, myself included, do not like leaving our hatchery so undefended. But we think it would be better if we move for the time being closer to you. Our plan is to keep all of our supplies, all of our food, all of our stores in the middle of the Tuskwater on these. The rest of us will, somewhere on the shore. Perhaps within your walls if you would allow us. In any case, most of us don't feel safe enough to be out here alone. You understand. The last thing we want is for some random dead thing to show up and start burning our homes. We'd be caught completely unsurprised, or completely undefended, I should say. Most of us spend most of our time just wandering. We can't do that now. Not if we are to endure.
That makes sense to me. Of course, you and your people are more than welcome within our borders. We have once you're done here, meet with me in Rooston, and we will hammer out the specifics of what accommodations we would be happy to provide for you.
She nods. Sorry I couldn't get this bastard to speak.
We'll get him talking. It's only a matter of time.
She nods.
Whatever he knows, I feel like the information is valuable enough to be worth the effort.
Most likely.
I hope it is anyway.
They're certainly a long, long way from home. Speaking of which, if you'd like a ride, we could get you there a little faster.
Wonderful.
All aboard the Aruxi barge.
Yup.
All aboard the party boat. I've seen that episode of Sunny. And the barges are like, they're sound, they're not gonna sink, but they're also just kind of like get a bunch of like the palisades almost and then lash them together another way, then load things on top. Y'all are floated back. Meanwhile, Class 1B, arriving back in Rooston, there is a general, I don't want to say the people are like revolting, but there is like general unrest as you arrive, specifically around the Shrine of Abadar. The general clamor you can hear is just people are afraid, people are like pulling out way too much money to buy holy water, as if like it's gone to the panic of, oh god, we're gonna run out. Everyone is panic buying holy water, I suppose. The only person who is manning it is, in fact, the Arbiter, who is just kind of like doing his best, flying out a window, setting down a holy water, says the, like, what is the price of holy water? That's the $1 million question.
Did you say the Arbiter is floating around?
Yeah.
Yeah, banished
damn
back
right.
to the shrine. Yeah.
God damn it. I was
Or you
hoping
got
we
kicked
were
out of heaven again.
Sets it down. That will be 25 gold pieces. And then, like, you see someone just, like, slam 3 or 4 platinum on the ground, push it over. This is too much. And then they're just, like, yelling and screaming. Understood. Thank you for your donation to the church. And then, like, they are moved out of the way by a couple members of the militia who are trying to keep the peace, but it's not really working. Or rather, like, it could go off any time.
Kalira will see this. I got the maidens came with us, right?
Yeah, if you'd want them to. There's certainly still operations they can perform out in the mines, but
If you don't get in line and buy your stupid water like a good little boy and girl, I'm going to start cracking heads. And if you can't do that, then go back to your homes.
alrighty, roll intimidate. And there is basically the immediate record scratch. People fall in. The Arbiter flies over. Looks you up and down. You were with the other team. Turns. Hello, Gridluke. Hello, Ionia. Hello, Minoru. Minoru barks.
Turn to Grin Luke and be like, "Isn't this your job now?"
He nods. Suppose I should, yes. Arbiter, I'm so... The people are scared. With the coming of lichdoms, they're afraid that, well, they're going to be killed and reanimated. The price of holy water, the demand of holy water, anything really to stop, even, and like, flies back in, flies out. Almost out of holy symbols, even. The people are terrified. Just kind of scans all of you.
See them turning to Abadar for safety, at the very least.
It is where they think to go, yes. And it is good. And we would like to help them. However, I am but one small, and he nods up, down.
Well, perhaps when... is the rest of the group back? I'm asking over.
Not yet. They will arrive, like, even with travel by boat, they're still going to arrive a little bit behind you.
Why did our tourist send you back here?
He did not. I was sent from Axis. Well, I do not understand. There was magic. I was dismissed.
Oh, that's... seems unlike our tourist to do.
No, not him. It was the Tiger Lords. There's kind of a general at that from the people that are still around.
Everybody out of the temple.
Just watching our unrest score steadily climb.
Yeah, it's like a. It's like.
This is
Never
Judy's job, not mine.
Look, Grin, I guess you should be. I'll start working on, putting out the word about the feast. And we'll do that. When the glorious return of our king or something stupid like that. I don't know. I'm gonna go find the bar.
Sounds good.
That's what I'm.
He nods. Did you happen to find the phylactery?
Well, no. We'll discuss this when everyone else has returned. In
Nods.
the meantime, I think there's a feast to get ready, so we'll go do that. I'm gonna run out of the temple.
Okay, got it.
Cornered!
And Grimlock Bakken this whole time has just probably been like chaotic neutral screaming and like getting people to fall in line. Grinluke and Bakken seem to like get things down under control. Bakken is like rapidly throwing holy water together, so there's enough that people can be like to keep things under control and keep things from boiling over. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad eventually by boat arrives to see a much more organized but like same thing. It's like there are lines rather than like, oh no, very bad. It's like lines around the blocks, plural, around the temple to buy holy water that Grinluke. Bakken is like just slamming down as fast as he can. Grinluke is just, here, Abadar be with you. This will help you. And like that being echoed by the Arbiter who's like over his shoulder. Holy water costs 25 gold pieces.
Cato looks to Arcturus and says, you leave for 2 days and look what happens. As he points at the temple.
The new weeknight prayer sessions seem to be a hit.
What?
People are just lining up to pray.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I mean, I would have seen. I guess I heard or saw Arbiter.
Yeah. He, given that he can float, you can see him over the crowd pretty easy.
There's a wave of relief. I probably would have, as we had approached, I probably would have started to sense him again a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so by the time I actually see him, it's an expected. It's like one of those things where you even though you knew it was coming, you're still relieved. So because I had all the time to build up to that moment, I don't go running over and embracing him or anything like that. So
Don't lie, yes you do.
I mean, in my mind, I'm doing it, but Arcturus definitely wouldn't do it. So I suppose first thing I would do is I'd go over to Arbiter. What happened? Where were you? Were you taken?
I am unsure. I was sent to Axis.
Axis? I sort of like stand in a little bit of shock and awe. And you weren't permitted to remain there?
I wanted to return. You clearly need more help. I could not return by the tracking of your time, 24 hours. Then I borrowed a ride from a friend.
Well, out of character, my heart just melted. In character, my heart just melted. Wow. Thank you, friend. You were missed, even though it wasn't very long. Really wasn't the same.
You see,
what's
you see, you see Kato with like a bunch of parchment papers where he was planning like the funeral ceremony for the Arbiter, and he just like crumples them up and like tosses them over his shoulder.
What's going on here? What are the people? Do we have the supply for this kind of demand?
Bucket is doing. I'm doing what I can, Arcturus. By all that, and he throws another like something into a bottle, shakes it up real quick. It boils dangerously. That should do. If I were dead, I wouldn't want this to touch me. Next, and then like going over. We probably have enough. Probably, maybe, theoretically, depends on how many things are gonna come crawling out of the mines.
The mines?
Yeah, apparently our new friend has reanimated all of the soot scales that disappeared and threw them at the militia, who apparently handled it very well.
Wait, so you found your people? In a manner of speaking?
In a manner of speaking, yes. Found their undead remains, put their souls to rest. I'm given to understand from what the chief says, it's not all of them. He's still, far as I know, back at the estates, with the rest of the militia just hunting the rest of them down.
An able little kobold.
There's probably I'd definitely be feeling like we have failed pretty badly if that's the state of things.
Consequence of having to be 20 places at once. Somewhere is gonna not quite pan out.
What about the mites? Any word? Were they among the kobold dead?
Nods.
Or undead?
Nods.
At least there's a silver lining.
Basically everybody we lost. Not all of them, but all of the various shapes and sizes that had come to live under the soot scale caverns.
We still don't know how to prevent this creature from doing this.
So I'll take it you didn't happen to find a particularly shiny goblet and then throw it in a magic lake of lava or some bullshit.
Nope. Unfortunately not. We came up... Well, we found treasure. I don't know what the other group... We haven't... I'm not going to speak for them. I don't know what they came across.
Our glorious shiny golden boy over here, he points at the Arbiter, informs me that you found the Tiger Lords as well.
Yes.
We have.
Stolen lands are starting to feel very, very cramped.
It's almost like we're besieged on both sides or something.
Certainly our opponents have picked a very convenient time to all start breathing down our necks. He kind of like... As he's saying this, his hands haven't stopped moving, and he's just spitting out as much holy water as he can. So we've come back with the knowledge that our opponents have moved in, that our scarier opponent is throwing ground forces at us. The people are terrified.
We did kill a particularly nasty priest of Gorham, though. So.
Mithril linings, indeed.
If nothing else, it probably put a halt on the at least that's delay the Tiger Lord's incursion for a time until they realize that their cleric is dead.
Reasonable.
Also, the Uruxi have plans to move in closer to the keep. Sounds like they could be useful in patrolling the waterways and keeping them safe, if I put forth a suggestion.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Given that everything is exploding all around us, I'd want to be close to friends too. If nothing else, you get to see them and have one tearful goodbye before you're ripped in twain.
Well,
Okay.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, here's your holy water. Thank you for your patience. 25 gold pieces.
Aren't you, Mr. Sunshine?
Sunshine and roses. Does the holy water actually... Are we selling people like snake oil here, or is this actually something that will help them if should the big bad lich appear and attempt to reanimate them, kill them and reanimate them?
I mean, yes, it will help very much. It will be... Isn't that right, Gridluke? Hey, isn't holy water great against the undead? Why, yes, indeed it is. and Abadar will be with you. We should probably have this conversation somewhere where people can't hear us. Would that be good? Grenluke, you think you can handle this? If I were to give you the basic formula for how to concoct... No, that's clearly far over your... I will come back when I am done. Kato, you like to call emergency meetings at the council. Maybe now's a great time. Seems to be every 6 hours or so.
I know, we're going to stop naming them emergency meetings. We're just going to call them
just call up another Tuesday here in Concordia.
Yeah. Emergency meeting of the council has been called.
Alrighty. Whomst amongst the NPCs do you want with you?
I kind of wanted the chief, but he's like off doing busy, important stuff. So, really, obviously the team. Well, yeah, you said NPCs. Grimluke's busy. Jubiloff should be in an infirmary right now, or whatever the equivalent is.
Jubiloff is probably like reading a book on a topic in which he's not really interested in and never shown any interest in the past. He is aggressively trying new things.
Oh. Yeah. We're gonna let's stick to the High Council, just the PCs for now, for the time being.
Alright, in that case I'll stay here and keep mass producing holy water. And he like
not playable.
As he's talking, he writes more just like a little note and pushes it, and he's scribbled it down really fast. This is about as effective as handing them like a really good short sword and then expecting them to fight off a Tiger Lord. Will it help? Yes. Will it save them? Doubt.
No. A little hope is better than no hope.
A little hope is better than probably exactly what our opponent wants, to divide us. He rapidly jots down on paper. Like, one hand is writing, he's not looking. The other hand is like mixologist-ing whatever, like, new brand of holy water that he's juggling on his nose and what have you. Probably could have been a bartender, but here we are. Dying glorious deaths here in the wilderness. Hooray.
Nope, no better way to go out.
Indeed. And so the council was convened.
Okay. So we're at war, turns out. As you probably overheard, he's talking to Ionia. This is directed towards Ionia and Kalira. Yeah, you too. As you probably overheard, we came across a encampment of Tiger Lords right on our border in the abandoned keep. And Kalira, don't get mad, but we still have yet to loot the troll lair. But we have good reason. Good reason, I say. There's more Tiger Lords. Basically, they're setting up all along our western border. 2 fortifications that we've spotted in total. As I mentioned, the abandoned keep as well as the troll lair are both appear to be were fortified by the Tiger Lords. We managed to drive them from the keep, and that's where
Out of character, did we confirm that it was the Tiger Lords and Troll Lair though? Because they said there was no banners, right?
There were no banner, but the animals are there. Totem animals, those cats.
They confirmed reasonable conclusion, shall we say.
There's also the matter of the mist.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, there's some anomalies out there in the wilderness as well that we'll definitely want to make sure we address, but...
Which I think Ionia is very interested in.
Right. Magic nonsense, enemies to the west, these are things we've already known. The problem is, I ordered so many moonradish pies. How are we going to pay for it if you didn't bring us treasure?
We brought some treasure. There was a lot of treasure in that abandoned keep.
Well, the feast is not going to be as impressive, that's for sure.
Oh, by the way, we're having a feast.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
It's
did you
probably
guys-
hard to avoid the rock that certainly is being prepared outside, given that like what building will hold the body.
Kalir, did you share with the rest of the party that about the amazing job that your Ash Maidens performed in the Cobalt Estates? Would you have shared that information?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You want me to put that in character?
You don't have to. If you want to, you can. I'm just gonna say.
It would be. You've been in town, I'd imagine you've heard by now.
Yeah. So Kato's gonna look to Kalir and say, "Oh, I may not have given your maidens all the respect they deserve. They performed admirably in the past days. Your training has definitely bared fruit, and I'm very, very proud of you and what your troops have done, Kalira. As reward for their service and for your exceptional training, I am here. I would like to grant the keep that we secured on the western border to become the new base of operations for you and your Ash Maidens. It is in a bit of a sorry state, so it will, require a little bit of elbow grease to get up to snuff. But I think it would be an excellent staging point for your new. I was going to say, it should be an excellent staging point of operations as to go along with your new position of Marshal. Yes, Marshal. I'm gonna figure those out one of these days.
Never.
That's why I didn't call
Never.
Kalira by title
Not gonna
when she
happen.
showed up.
It's never gonna happen.
Well,
Right.
I suppose that is a start for making me live out in the wilderness like some sort of beast. No offense in here, but ugh.
Everyone here familiar with? Anyone here not know Game of Thrones or watch Game of Thrones?
Yo,
Because I basically gave Kalir a Grey Guard. If that, you guys remember
Yeah, I'm familiar.
that. You can keep your ruin. I have friends at court.
I mean, that's yeah.
Anyway, all right. So there, I just basically awarded Kalir a castle or a keep. So don't say I never did anything for you. However, it's a moot point. If we can't secure that western border against the Tiger Lords, then we won't be able to hold that position anyway. So we appear to be divided between two super high priority situations: an invading military force and a supernatural force of the undead. Wonderful.
well, one we know how to fight, and one we don't.
Also, we have Hell Knights to the northeast.
What?
What?
Same directions make sense on this.
I mean, I was going to mention that. Yeah. I mean, I was waiting for you to finish.
You found the same Hell Knights, the ones that were hunting Amalia?
Yes.
Did they have her?
They're making a camp over there.
No, they weren't able to find her. So
They're
she's
making
out there.
So we're being invaded in the east as well, then.
I don't know if they have any
Well-
intention of invading, but
Yeah, I think they're less interested in us and more interested in her, and I think we need to tread carefully around them, but I don't think they are currently a direct threat.
I think they're looking for magic users in general. But they did invite us to dinner, so I suppose it's a good opportunity to see exactly what they're about. I didn't really want to get into that. I mean, the whole banter and nobles. It reminds me of Reminds me of dinners with my mother.
It's not your thing. We know. Witches and all.
Your mother sounds lovely.
No, I mean, at least that's one thing we can agree on. At least me and the Hell Knights, that's for sure. But the whole devil thing, it's a little creepy.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, you came across a fortress of Hell Knights, and
Well, we're
You-
building a fortress. It's not quite there yet.
you interacted with them and managed to leave without provoking any kind of.
It's called flirting priest.
Grinluck was
I'm as
Okay,
surprised
well.
as you are. I'm as surprised as you are, Taurus. I basically expected, when you said you came across Hell Knights, I basically expected there to be casualties on one side or the other.
to come after me, to be honest, the way that Kalira talks about me.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think you have too much to worry about there. We'll protect you. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to you.
Well, that would have been a great comfort had you not been miles and miles and miles and miles away from me.
well, regardless, you have. It is strange for me to say these words, but I have had occasion recently to realize that sometimes it's better to dwell on the things that you have in common with somebody than the different. So, might I suggest we have potential allies in the Hell Knights? They're certainly fighting many of the same forces that we find ourselves against here.
I'd certainly rather not make enemies of them, but like I said before, I do very carefully in their presence.
It was a very strong through line of. Oh, sorry about that. Of they don't really see us as a nation or a sovereign power. So I don't think they would see us as an ally, at least not yet. If we are to forge any sort of accord with these Hell Knights, I would tread very lightly. I would also make sure that we show them that we are a force to be reckoned with at the same time.
A display of might is in order, you think?
Well, if they're out here hunting magic users, maybe we can direct their focus on hunting the Lich for us.
Or we could find Amalia and hand her over to them. That would probably get us in their good graces.
Sure, bag of holding back.
Sonia has a good point. Maybe they would be more capable of tracking the Lich than we are.
Yeah, well, it seems to be there. I don't know if it's liches are necessarily their forte, but I can't imagine there's not some overlap between what they do and what we require.
They're certainly aware of the Lich. They have been shooting down its ravens on that side of the other side of the mountain, anyway.
Oh, that's
It's
handy.
a favor, then. Yeah.
I said we should do in the city, but you all said that was crazy.
You suggested we kill all ravens.
Yes.
Not just the undead ones. Well, I think we need to. We definitely need to accept their proposal to have an official dialogue. This dinner party that you're so excited about, Kalira. What is the name? Tell me more
I'm
about
always
that.
excited. I'm always excited to eat, darling.
Tell me more about this.
Well, I told him he should, contact you to set up the details. how he wants to do this. So I'm assuming he's going to send us a message at some. He's I mean, you would probably like him, priest. He's got horns on his head.
Hmm?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
part devil.
I'm-
That's fun, right?
What do you mean he's part devil?
He's got like horns on his head, and he's got like weird skin and weird eyes.
Real horns or horned like helmet?
Like actual horns growing out of his head.
I don't prefer to consort with devils or their followers or their ilk. I will admit that they aren't the most difficult people to deal with.
He seemed
There are
friendly enough.
far more.
So wait, he's an actual devil?
I
What?
don't really know. I don't know how that stuff works. Grinluke didn't seem too surprised by it though, so I figured it was normal where you're from.
Cheliax.
Well, I'm not from Cheliax exactly. But regardless, so we have some sort of diplomatic dinner date with Hell Knights. Is there do we have a date or a time? Or
Be determined.
So you did a real good job with introductions, but you shit the bed when it came to closing the deal, Kalira. I'm shaking.
I don't close deals. I just said that. I
the
told him
most
to.
regal expression, my lord.
I told you to. I told him to contact you for that. That's not.
You give him my
I'm-
cell phone?
I'm just. Huh? What's a cell phone?
I turned
I-
confused as well.
Anyway, moving on. Fine, we will send. All right, very well, very well.
They're going
we
to.
have quite a,
They're going to send a messenger to us when they're ready, darling. It's fine. He seemed quite taken with me. I'm sure he won't stand me up.
not if he wants to keep his head.
So what's the plan? We have things that
Right.
require our full attention to the west, rather, and we have political engagement to the east, and we have a lich that we are no closer to finding and killing once and.
With taunting.
Hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that those to the east could potentially help with that problem of the locating. But in the meantime, there's also one other matter in regards to the Uruxi. So I didn't want to make any promises to them while we were in discussions. That's why I told them to meet with us when they return, when they get here. But I would like to develop a new settlement within our borders to house them. On the western, a new western development, right where our border enters the Gnarl Marshes, I think would be a great place. I'm thinking like here.
I mean, that's perhaps something that you should ask Dazia about, but I'm sure they'll be amenable to that.
No, it's either they move into Rooston or one of Thornburg, Abadar's Rest, like one of our existing villages, or we can, they're a nomadic people. They kind of, I think it would make sense for us to carve a small sliver of the of our border out and to accommodate them, so they can set up their own little community.
Well, the alternative she suggested was living in the Tuskwater itself. Right?
Just to remind you, my lord, why they have decided to move in closer with others is that their village is dangerously close to a place that's haunted. And I think that if we were to help them with that particular predicament, I know you don't like crowding the city with various riffraff as I roll my eyes at that. It'll give them back their homelands if we were to help clear out the haunt.
I guess they can live on the docks.
Well,
Well,
I kind of like the idea of the terrain to the west seems to be something they're more familiar with. Yes, they might prefer it if we were willing to settle it and claim it.
I mean, it would be one. It'd be one hex from our capital, easily for like they'd have like direct access to us for trade and for defense, and it would be obviously I'm thinking
Use them
in our own.
scout
Yeah.
that I've been saying we should do for a long time.
What?
We should be using them as scouts.
Well, let's build that relationship first. Let's give them a home where they feel secure, and then once they're indebted to us.
Of course. Yes, exactly. Make sure they're indebted to us, so they have to work. Now you're thinking like a ruler. Finally.
Shake my head. If you mean to make a bargain with them, make it up front.
Be up front, darling. No worries there. So I think our priorities should be securing our border to the west. As you mentioned, we have one enemy we know how to deal with and one we do not. We should show up our defenses. As far as that haunt thing, I won't have anything to do with that.
Come on, it's just a spooky ghost.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to do that, Kalira. I have ways of dealing with haunts. And I look over at Ionia, and I would be glad to have your help, Ionia, with that. I'm sure you'd be interested.
Certainly be interested in that. I will say, though, that I think we would benefit more from having the Iruxi closer to us. We are trying to build a civilization here, so if we reinforce our core, that's only going to strengthen us. Even if we are successful in dealing with this haunt that you're speaking of, I would still probably pose it to Dazia as beneficial for she and her people to stay close by.
I feel like they're never going to fully abandon their spawning ground, because seems like that's a place they make a pilgrimage to every year. But if they have a home close by, I think it's in everyone. Like, we can make this a win-win situation for everybody.
I mean, sure. And like you said, if they're not inclined to abandon their spawning grounds, for sure, then offering them a place to live closer to us and dealing with the haunt will only strengthen our friendship.
Right, I agree. I'm just saying we should pose it as strengthening of our friendship rather than we'll deal with your problems so you can go back to your home.
Well, that's the thing. That's my point. Is I feel like that area where they're leaving temporarily is always going to feel like their home, because it's their sacred spawning pool. You know.
Sure, it can be sacred to them, be closer to us than that.
I'm just saying, the way we approach this, it's probably going to be they're a wandering people. If they're not. But if they could keep like some presence here.
I mean, you're right. They are wanderers, and therefore, to Kalira's suggestion, they would make excellent scouts. It's playing off their nature, right?
And the gnarled marshes are a big block of trees and swamps that we have no means of
I mean, it's
conveniently. Yeah,
we've explored
well,
most of half.
it's mostly explored. But what I'm saying is, like, our ability to track like movement through the forest, if like the Tiger Lords could be marching on us right now, we'd have no idea, because our ability to like monitor and navigate this forest is extremely poor, whereas the Uruxi would make, much more effective.
That's my point for a long time. This has been our glaring weakness, and it's been irking me for some time now.
So then we all agree that we give him a home to the west of us, and we deal with the haunt.
Fine. It's on the way to the troll layer, so let's do it. I'll just
And
be sure to be
Daz-
several miles
we can make
behind you when you do it.
make Dazi our spy master.
Do we already have one of those?
I know, I'm waiting for it.
Intriguing as the haunt is, we do have very pressing matters at this time. Did it seem to be particularly threatening, or something that would be very easy to deal with?
I mean, it's just a matter it's just a matter of talking. It's just a matter of talking to it right now and figuring out what it wants.
Perhaps it would make the most sense to instead deal with it on the way back from the Troll's Lair.
Wait, you talk to these things? Oh god. No.
You can. It's kind of creepy, actually, because she doesn't seem to
crazy.
describe her.
This is the Nettle Crossing thing all over again. You realize this, yes?
No, this is going to be much creepier than that.
No.
Basically, if we want to talk to this haunt, Senya can have the haunt enter her body and temporarily possess her and speak through her.
What? I don't want to have to cut Senya in half. I've grown quite fond of her face.
Okay. I kind of I agree with Arcturus that but it's kind of like directly on the way. So maybe we just show up, we talk to it, we figure out, what's going on. We don't necessarily agree to march off and fix whatever its problem is, but at least we get the intel and then we move on.
And then this is how curses happen. Every time.
Every time. This is how we get sidetracked from going to this troll's lair.
Just constantly.
I mean, what do we do if we go there and the cause of the haunt is a dragon spirit that feels like it was cheated in it?
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I'm just saying, there's a possibility that it's not a matter of, oh, hey, spirit, what can we do for you? It could very well be that we are responsible for, in some way, for whatever is manifest there.
I mean, yeah, possibly. Alright, fine. Everyone is gung-ho about this troll lair. I'm kind of gung-ho about this troll's lair. I think we need to do so. However, before we do that, is this where we want to set out to?
Wait, the abandoned tower now has the name Greyguard? Oh, great. Okay, got it.
Oh, that's what he said to name it, so I named it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm slow today.
We should call it Ashgard, because everything that we're changing from gray to ash, because gray maidens, ash maidens.
Similar
Greyguard,
but
Ashgard.
distinct.
Similar but distinct.
Also, can I just say that I can't help but feel we completely failed Chief Sootskill and his...
It did. No one thought to look at in the mine. So wait, they vanished, though. There were no corpses. I'm a little confused. Let's go back to that. Kalira,
Yeah.
you said that they were reanimated.
It's pretty simple.
That's
to
what
me.
we were told. Yeah. Apparently, they just showed up, crawling out from the mines with the whole moaning thing, I suppose.
But there were no corpses in the mines, or so we were led to believe.
I mean, that was the priest who went there. I never went into the mines.
Do you guys feel like it's because we failed to locate them that this ended up happening? It was like a timed quest that we didn't complete on time, so hey, you have zombie kobolds now.
No.
My suspicion is that what happened is we have a lich who vanished the group of kobolds as a way to probably piss us off and catch our interest. And then in retaliation, after we pissed him off, sent them back to us as corpses.
Yep,
that makes sense.
Pretty much.
Just because we kicked his ass, and so he's mad. So once again, the kobolds suffer because of us.
It really is their lot in life, though. It's kind of what they do.
They live short lives.
But they do multiply quickly, so there's that.
Yeah, but you can't multiply if there's only one left. That is the problem.
I would have a very grim expression as I sort of piece together that if that's what she thinks happened to someone he was holding to get back at us, I start thinking about Ionia's mother, actually, and the risk and danger that she could be in.
Zombie
sort of look to Ionia and see if that's on her mind at all.
It would be pretty clear that Ionia is actively trying to not think about that.
Well, it probably goes without saying that we're going to need the Hell Knight's help if we're going to find this lich. They probably have the tools to track down the tools they use to track down witches and other, whatever it is else that they hunt. Probably would help in this regard. I'm just guessing. So, and despite the fact that Clear is super, sure that they're gonna send a message. If we haven't heard from them in a fortnight, then we should probably send a messenger of our own and cordially invite them to join us at Rooston for a grand old time.
For a feast of rock, apparently. It's what we'll all be eating for a while.
Actually,
what was the story behind that thing, anyway? How did you... I sort of look around, none of you are, ranged fighters, so how did you manage to fell this?
Well, if you would believe it, it was mostly Bakken and Minoru.
Believe it.
Minoru? I looked to him. How did...
He's a very good hunter, and he likes the taste of bird.
I just kind of look at you a little confused.
Just roll their eyes. Well, I wanted to see if a half-orc could fly. Apparently they can't.
On that note, Kato, roll me 3d6 real quick, would you?
Oh boy.
I've been racking my brain. That's how many build points a rock's corpse is worth in food.
Oh!
You will be able to feed people for a long, long time.
It's a lot of jerky.
It is a shitload of... Yeah.
So, can we just offset our consumption until we've used up those 8 points?
What's our consumption?
I think it's 2 per month.
Could do that, yeah.
4 months of no consumption.
Works for me. Because folks are going to have a lot of food to eat for a long
Good job, guys.
time.
You guys made us more money than with that bird than we got from the abandoned keep.
Stop reminding me.
Let's just keep reminding
Anyway.
Claire about the troll's lair.
I don't think we should wait a fortnight though to send word. Not that I don't trust
Maybe just half a fortnight.
Maybe. Well, no. I think we should have the celebration in a fortnight. So I would like. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put it on our map. Where are we currently on the map or on the calendar? Have we? We haven't really been keeping up on that, have we? The official date on the calendar these days. It's kind of like.
It's a little less relevant when it passes in like very fast, very slow, very fast, very slow. We are in, I believe it's March. Poop.
March.
Springish.
Okay. So how about this? We will have the celebration in a fortnight. Send word. Let's send word to the Hell Knights. That they are cordially invited. Yeah.
I already told half the damn town that we're having a feast. Like when you got back.
But the Hell Knights aren't here because you didn't bring them back with you.
I think there's
yeah,
enough
of course.
for more than one.
And there's
Of course I didn't
There's
Why would I
4
bring-
months of food.
Why would I bring potential enemies into our city? That doesn't make any sense. No. We're going to them.
We're having
Absolutely.
these to help calm our citizens who are on edge about the zombie invasion in the Soot-Scale mines. During which time I think it would be wise for you, Kato, to maybe give a little speech and put their minds at rest. Talk up how successful we've been
Amazing.
and all the endeavors and how we'll protect them and all of that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
It's-
But, okay.
This whole night thing needs to be handled much more subtly. Fop. We need a quiet, private, so we can suss each other out properly, not a raucous party.
Absolutely not. You said that they don't view us as a proper kingdom yet. So we need to.
You think they're going to think if we send them out here to farm barbecue?
No, we're going to bring them here to Fort Staggrave. We're going to greet them as they would be expected to be greeted, in a sovereign nation. We're going to sit them down within our keep. We are going to break bread with them and then get down to business. We'll do it properly. We'll do it not meeting them in some third-party, undisclosed location like rats.
We go to their fortress so we can see inside their defenses, so we can know how their layer works.
You want to go there where
Yes.
they have all the advantages.
I'm not afraid of them, are you?
I'm not afraid, but I'm also not foolish enough to know to think that that's going to put us in the best bargaining position.
What are we bargaining?
It's bargaining, Kalira. If you don't understand how politics works, then I can't help you.
Very well.
We need to make a display of power.
Here,
Not-
I think a number of we have a number of important people within our ranks who they would probably see as witches. If we meet them on their own turf, we can leave behind anyone who would be in danger by meeting them. Keep up appearances that we're what they would want us to be.
Exactly.
I mean, if those of you who are afraid of persecution, it's a big castle, it's a big city. You don't have to. But I would actually like Ionian to
They are
keep an
a-
eye.
Old nation.
Sure, but they will come in limited numbers, and that'll be easier for you to keep a spying eye on and see what they're up to. We're extending a hand in friendship, but we're also going to do our due diligence to keep.
Probably the last thing I want to do is use an arcane eye around exactly the type of people who would burn me at the stake for using an arcane eye, who are specially trained to seek out that type of magic, to know when it's being used. That seems very unwise.
I'm getting the impression you're very much afraid of these Hell Knights.
I don't think it would be entirely unreasonable to simply send like a delegation to the fortress. It doesn't have to be all of us as a show of trust. I think inviting them here for a more grand display, that might work if they were like actual foreign dignitaries from Cheliax, but these are Hell Knights, and I do think a certain amount of respect is in order, and I also think that a certain amount of caution is in order as it relates to. I think the appearance of absolute upstanding, in accordance with their own particular outlook, that's important. And you're right, we could very well stow away people that we think would maybe questionable for them, but I also don't see why we should risk it. We could just go there, discuss this with them.
And to answer your Cato, it doesn't matter whether or not I'm afraid. The fact is I'm not a fool.
Get that. Me and the priest agree. Once again, so you know it must be correct.
Sort of take a moment, start thinking, like, maybe I've screwed up here.
All I'm saying is we go there, we discuss on their turf, it then becomes on their terms. We basically hand them. It's basically us now begging them for help at this point. It's like us going there, and it's all perception. It doesn't matter what we say or what while we're there. They'll view it as us seeking out them for help, as opposed to
we don't have to ask them for help at all. I mean, I feel like this is just an introduction to who we are and what we are about. And I feel like, I couldn't keep up appearances for very long. I mean, I do know a little bit about courtier and whatnot for my mother, but not enough to fool them for long. So I got the hell out of there. But I figured you and the priest together, you could, I don't know, put a polish on this shabby little startup we have here, and then once they understand that we are an actual nation, then we start bargaining. But this is just an introduction, dear.
I was trying to basically kill two birds with one stone here. Make the introductions, maybe come to some sort of accord, while at the same time, showing that we are the real deal here. And, by going out there, we rob ourselves of the ability to basically, showcase what we have built here, and the fact that we are, what we say we are, not just some Stag Lord 2.0 who's,
And if they judge us, I don't know, what's the word, heretical?
We're in the favorable position of there being more of us than them, whereas should we be there and they decide they don't like us for whatever reason, we're in a much more tenuous position. But clearly I feel like I'm heavily outvoted here, and since I do respect the advice that comes from the council as advisors, I'm not belligerent. I'm not going to stand on the soapbox and any longer, so if that's what you guys want to do, then that's what we will do.
Then, of course, we have a problem, because we're once again faced with two directions, and one of which we have determined requires our full attention.
That was actually going to be the third, right? 3 birds, 1 stone. Also, it also means we don't have to march out to the east. We can go west, we can come back, and be back in time for their, if they were to come to us, then we just come home, and then we, be able to handle that here without needing to then shimmy out again, or without the need to have to split up to handle both simultaneously. That was the other point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably more persuaded, honestly, by that more practical concern. That being said, I don't know that it's worth Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's spend 2 weeks thinking about it, and then
We have a fortnight. If they don't invite us, if they don't send the invitation that Kalira is so certain that they're going to send in a fortnight, then we will send an invitation of our own. How about that? We give them the fortnight to.
And is that the time that we're going to spend going to the Trolls Lair and back?
Yeah, I'd say so. 2 weeks sounds reasonable. So if we return, by the time we return, we'll assess how much time has passed, and if it's been at least a fortnight, then we will send an invitation of our own. How does that sound as a compromise?
I agree.
That's fine with me.
Fortnight it is.
And you're driving that point home.
Less of a point, more of a meme, but yeah.
Tara's just shaking her head over here like so hard she's going to give herself whiplash.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard they're about to roll to the back of my head.
Just a pair of marbles, just whoop!
All right, good. So that's that. I'm going to, and this can kind of be done kind of rapidly. While we're gone, I'm going to tell Bakken that if Bakken was we're not taking Juby with us this time. I don't think. Should we? He seems.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say, and I agree.
Every time we bring him with us, he almost dies. I'm really, really concerned about his welfare.
Jubilos has had the worst RNG in all of Kingmaker.
But if we leave him in the city, he has no new experiences, so he's gonna die either.
I'm sure I'm sure he can find something. Learn to play the harp or harmonica or something. I don't know.
Perhaps both! Harp and harmonica at once!
No.
Look at me!
I'm actually going to give him a really important job to keep him busy. So Dazia said that she would be making, once they're done packing up and clearing out, that they were going to make their way this way. I'm going to brief Jubilost and Bakken on what we agreed upon, how we would like to welcome them to join, to move in close by, for protection and safety, and also to make trade easier as well. We are in the next kingdom turn, I think we're in the next month now.
We are getting close.
Close to Kingdom Day.
Yeah.
I think can we just queue up the fact that we're going to, assuming they accept, and we'll leave this up to Bakken and Jubilos to find out from Dazia. We'd like to claim this hex here and begin construction of an Uruxi settlement, should they accept, right next to the one adjacent to Rooston, the Rooston hex.
Makes sense to me.
Between the two of them. Dazia likes Jubilost, right?
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
the first to... Yeah, they should be. You guys were good. All right, so yeah, Jubilost, you'll run that by her. Make sure that all of her needs are met, and that any concerns she has are dealt with. Like, do your thing. You're good. You're good with people.
I do what I can. I suppose I should ask also, speaking of our noble matriarch companion, whatever shall we do with the body? Should we... It lies in state. Certainly it's not going to rot or anything, but do we... I don't know what the precedent is here in the kingdom for holding on the corpses that we're not letting rot away, especially considering there is a necromancer afoot. Do we have any thoughts, any plans?
Lock it up in one of the jail cells.
Good enough for me.
Make sure it's thoroughly chained down, just in case, it ends up possibly becoming one of the Walking Dead.
Or coming back in on life is some deranged gore might... Hello, Kalira. Forgive
We
me.
already fought one of those, actually.
Reasonable, yes. In any case, I don't know what we want to do with the blade. It's armor. spell components, holy symbol, things of that nature. I suppose they just get liquidated into the kingdom funds, but sure, as if it were alive and we didn't want it to escape. Maybe we should ask the Hell Knights. Certainly they know how to restrain big, angry, hairy Kellet, but I digress. I will see it done. And off he goes.
And because Jublos can be a little eccentric at times, I also put Bakken to on the task as well for the to add the level-headed and much more rational, kind of like the serious cop, goofy cop kind of duo together.
Of course.
I feel like those two help each other out pretty good.
They
And I
are
know
good
Bakken
foils
should
for
be
one
a
another.
spin-off series about those two.
Bakken and Jubilas going up on adventures. I'd watch that.
Jubilas Narfarple as Will Smith. No, I feel like Bakken has to be that part of the bad boys.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
They're more lethal weapon than.
Yeah, they kind of are actually. Yeah, they're lethal weapon for sure. Anyway, okay, so that's good. We're gonna have that pitched to the Uruxi. Hopefully they accept. We're gonna give the Hell Knights a fortnight, and then we're gonna head out to the Trolls Lair. We're gonna dodge the hunt for now, but otherwise Kalir's gonna have a brain aneurysm if we don't go straight to the Trolls Lair. I feel like shirking all other things. Then we'll double back to the haunt on our way back and see what that's all about.
All
In
right.
agreement? Everyone good?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So then, in the interest of what was discussed at the end of last session, in terms of signaling who should go where when, I'd rather this not sit for a week. Though, that said, the way the party was divvied up when we Class 1A, Class 1B'd into the Stolen Lance makes this one a little better. As Jubilost is leaving, Perlavash flies along and conjures up a little illusion of Kato about the size of this enormous man striking him down. It's obviously like, it's incredibly exaggerated. The movements are big and God, I almost want to liken it to like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, right? You know what I mean? Just like heads popping off. But Kalira, it is completely unmistakable that the Priest of Gorum in the illusion is none other than the one that saved your life so long ago.
Ooh, interesting.
What?
Jubilost and Perlavash turn the corner.
Okay, I guess I will. Are we still in the council meeting?
Yeah, this is like as it's wrapping up.
All right. I guess I will ask Kato to wait and have some words with him.
Already.
Sure. I mean, I already gave you guys a castle. If you want more, I mean, I think that's.
I've only asked one thing from you, Fob. That's all I expect. I don't want any handouts. I just need what I need in order to accomplish what I need to accomplish. But what I've actually wanted to ask you about is the priest you fought.
Yes, he was. For a priest, he was probably the strongest man I've ever encountered. He was, well, ferocious as would be putting it lightly. What would you like to know?
Among his number, were there any females?
Were there?
Yeah. there would have been about an equal smattering.
I mean, among the various Tiger Lords that were in his company, there were some men, some women. I didn't notice an overabundance of either.
Curious. I wonder if you got her too. Well, tell me, how did you fell this mighty priest?
He subsequently failed a whole bunch of casting checks, and how did we fell him?
I did.
Yeah, Arcturus. The High Priest, actually, are the Blood Priests. Arcturus was actually the one to deliver the killing blow. I went a few rounds with him in hand to hand while his goons attempted to surround and kill us. But after dispatching all of them, Arcturus was overtaken by grief at the supposed loss of the Arbiter. As I'm sure you heard, this war priest managed to banish it, and somehow, in a fit of rage, Arcturus delivered a fury upon this man like I've never seen, and he went down like a stone.
And where's his body now? You're keeping it. You're gonna go to keep it down in the dungeon. What are you gonna use? That swamp with magic on it.
Senya currently is holding on to him, but yes, that's what we were referring to at the meeting when we said we were going to hold him until Dazi arrived. Before he had fallen, he had mentioned that he was here with a purpose, that he was looking for something, but we were not able to ascertain what or who he was looking for. So we were hoping, just like how we brought the Hell Knight back temporarily to scry information from him, that we would do the same, or could do the same with the priest, or the war priest, or cleric, or whatever he was.
So did he?
Seemed to be important, whatever he was here for.
Do much damage to you? Hurt you
Not-
in any way?
Me, not a scratch.
All right. I just walked out, please. Just gonna go to Oleg's. It's gonna drink a lot.
As you do. Okay. As that's going on, if anybody else has anything they want to do in town, now would be a good time before you head off into the wilderness. In a somewhat, I don't know if we want to wait a fortnight to do this or not, but now that there's been at least a small payday, there's enough, there are merchants here who can make magic things now if you want to, sell the things you're picking up and then, buy other things you might need before off into the wilderness.
I was just going to ask if we could do some shopping before we leave. But, I know Tibor and I took a stab at updating the loot sheet. And I think I worked out how much we could liquidate it down to. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, so we had so what we had worked out is from what we have after looting the castle, or the keep, was about 16,243 gold worth of stuff. At a 60% sale price, that would be about 9,746 gold, and then split 5 ways, just under 2,000 gold each, so 1,900 basically 1,950 gold per person is what we'd each bring home after the sale conversion and then the 5-way split.
Okay.
So enough to buy some, maybe some small magic item or something.
Yeah. I don't know if we necessarily want to do that right this second, because I know it would cut into like session time. But I would be remiss if I didn't be like, hey, wanna get some stuff before you go to the next one?
That's kind of my thoughts too. So currently I have 1,409 gold left over. It's about 3,300. Let's see if I can buy something real on my list that's around 3K. I kind of made a little list of magic items that I'd like to pick up at some point. So let me see what these cost.
That would be for folks, I guess, to recommend for newer folks / expedite. If you had 50 more gold, you'd have 2,000, which is enough to buy a Ring of Protection +1 if you don't have one. It would get you half of 1,000 buys you a Cloak of Resistance +1 if you haven't got that yet. Or alternatively, we can always wait and do it later.
I would like to buy it. All right, so here's the dealio. Yeah, I was thinking of getting a Cloak of Resistance, but that slightly altered one, Tommy, this guy here.
Oh yes, this thing. Yeah, if you can afford it.
Yes, the +1 is 4,000 gold, which is right, pretty much exactly what I have.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, shiny.
Basically a Cloak of Resistance, but then has a small secondary bonus.
Small.
Which I can't use yet because I don't have that. I have yet to unlock the class feature that, but I will at some point soon. So I might as well get ahead of it. It's why I haven't stake claimed any of the Cloaks of Resistances that have dropped up until now because
you're waiting on the Altori one.
Yeah. So I would be interested in buying this if this was something I could source.
Yeah, probably. There's probably, honestly, like, the Sword Bros probably have a couple extra. Or, like, have, through less than the best means, gotten their hands on them kind of thing.
Yeah, that amount you gave isn't exactly right, because there's still, like, those scrolls and stuff in that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the potions.
Are the potions still counted?
Still some potions in there that weren't claimed. They got like 2 curious ones. That one didn't even have a price on it. But I'm sure it's worth a lot.
Oh, the Cure Serious Wounds. How much are those worth?
Vending our potions now? Our cure potions?
If you let Dell anywhere near the treasure,
all gets liquidated.
Everything must go.
All right, so actually we got less money than that.
Concordia is covered with wacky inflatable arm guys, and everything's gone.
Okay, so it's probably a few hundred gold less then. We'd have to work out the... Yeah, so probably don't want to do this right now then.
Take the price off of the stuff that we don't want to sell. If you tip for quickie math. Make the price 0 for all the stuff we don't want to sell, and then you would have your total.
That's a good point. Good point. Okay, get rid of those.
Got where we landed on scrolls. I mean, I mean, they're not worth a whole lot, but are we realistically going to use them? So that's the. I think the disguise self scroll was one where we're definitely going to keep, as well as the comprehend languages, right?
Yeah.
Comprehend language, disguise self. I mean, there's 4 of those.
Oh, wait. My Arbiter has True Speak. I don't think we need those anymore.
A flying universal translator behind you.
Yeah. I mean, he
I mean-
he can get banished, I guess. So there's that. But
There is.
I mean, the scrolls are good to have just in case of emergency, and like you said, they don't really sell for that much anyway. Most of the time.
that's true.
In case you get hit by too powerful of a spell again.
About 300 gold worth of scrolls here. So not a ton once you factor in sale price and then splitting it up. Yeah. All right. Let's zero out the price on the scrolls then. Though comprehend languages, I think we can get rid of those. Yeah. Those seem kind of poopy. Potions, I zeroed out the health potion.
What's this potion of blurred? Oh, that's just that missing thing.
20% mischance.
Would be
It's
really
pretty
good.
nice. Potion of bull strength would be good for Clara.
Wouldn't
was
stack
enhanced-
with the belt, unfortunately.
Enhancement bonus that doesn't stack with
Yeah,
the
no,
belt.
it's not. Yeah, that's why I didn't. I'll take a potion of blur. I could probably use one of those eventually. That one. Let's put it on my sheet. On my claim.
Got that. So we'll sell the bull strength. I feel like potion of remove fear is like one of those ones where it's like it sounds good, but you have to like drink it before the fear effect happens, right?
You would need to
Can't
drink it going
while-
in, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do know that that
The
sphere,
lich.
Lich uses
Yeah.
fear, so it could be useful.
Yeah, Ionia would like the bull strength thing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to work out some audio issues on her end.
Mm.
And he,
Gonna feed
I
it to
think
her. She's gonna feed it to her dog, isn't she?
I'm strength based. I will use the potion.
She also likes to do a stab.
she does like to swing that gladius from time to time to steal my kills. Kidding. Where am I? We're definitely selling those potions to speak with animals. Damn it. Potion of shield of fate. Alright, so we'll keep bull strength. I've already claimed the March person's ones.
Potion is claimed by Ionia, right?
Which one is?
Both.
Bolstering? Yeah.
Bull strength, yeah.
Oh, bull strength, yeah.
There were two. So Seni already has one of them. So now you're taking the other one, right, Ionia?
Right.
Alright, so those are claimed. So that puts our gold down to RIP. It's actually it's not that bad.
One of those serious wounds.
What's the
potions.
damage?
Making sure there aren't any more things that so we're keeping all the scrolls, we're keeping these potions. So I don't get to keep the life-sized elven statue in my bedroom.
No,
Alright, fine.
I mean, unless you really want to. I mean, you can pay in for it.
Nah,
You-
that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
1851 each is the new calculation.
But I would have mad props if you did, though.
So we each lost 100 gold from the original estimate. Well, 99 gold. Yeah, I can't justify that purchase. No way.
I mean, armor
What was
respect,
it?
nothing
99
else.
gold less?
Yeah, 1851 each instead of 1950.
Put that at the top for for the payout thing?
Alrighty. Well, if you guys are, I don't know where we're at with purchasing and distributing, or like what y'all want to do, that kind of thing.
So we just figured out how much gold we have.
I'm saving up, so I have nothing to buy.
Okay, so Arcturus saving, Kalira,
I'm not buying anything either.
Senya.
Good.
Yeah.
I lost my list. I reconstructed, so I'm not going to buy anything quite yet.
And I'm now a few hundred gold short of my purchase or 100 gold short of my purchase. So I'm going to hold off until our next haul as well.
Alrighty.
Since I have someone wants to lend me 100 gold.
100 gold.
I'll pay back 101.
Sounds
Wow.
good.
101. How magnanimous. But would anybody mind if I take one of the cure serious wounds potions?
I think you
Seems reasonable. Yeah.
That seems quite reasonable. You're basically the health sponge.
What's that? 3d8 plus 3 or something like that?
Well, that was one of the special ones that Bakken made us, I think.
Something from it had to have been from loot if it was on there.
That's right. Yeah. Tommy, what's a potion of cure serious wounds heal for?
The 3d8 plus 5 should be.
Okay. I'm gonna take one of the moderate cure wounds. I don't need.
How many of the potions do we have? I just have cure light wounds right now. If there's something bigger, I'd do that.
We have 3 uncured. We have unclaimed. We have 3 light wound, 1 moderate, 1 serious. Left.
Serious.
You'll take the serious.
Yeah. Unless one of our frontliners wants it, in which case I'll take the moderate.
That's what I was.
You never get hit anyway, though.
I never get hit. When I do, I need to heal up quicker. I'm in danger. Danger, danger. I got hit once. I'm almost dead. And since a lot of cronies can only hit me if they crit, but then they have to confirm. Yeah, it's still fine. But yeah, I have like half the health of the rest, like the other frontliners in our party, which I think is hilarious.
Do you want the other?
No. I took moderate. Moderate's fine.
I really was looking in my inventory. I have 4 cure light wounds. I guess we could sell those because no one uses them.
Cure light wounds at this point isn't worth the action economy to drink anymore. Because you don't heal enough for it to matter. You just get hit again, and you're worse off than you were before you drank the potion.
Those heal?
D8 plus 1.
Oh,
So on average, 5 hit points.
Trade my 4 cure light for that cure serious.
I have 2 cure lights as well. I'm gonna dump those in.
How many did you say you had, Ionia?
Yeah, she
4.
just added them.
Oh, I added my 4. I don't think she added hers.
She has.
Oh, you added your.
I added my 4. Yeah.
So that'll make it 13. How many potions do you have, Senya?
Cure 1. None.
Yeah.
You have no cure light wounds left. Okay. Actually, you don't have any potions except your potion of strength, full strength.
And keen senses.
Which you bought the belt of strength, so you don't want that potion. It doesn't stack. So we're gonna put a potion. We're gonna put a potion back on the.
Why don't Ionia take both of them?
She certainly could.
She's the only one who would. I don't care about strength. Or Torso doesn't care about strength. Our two strength people already have belts of strength.
You could also technically feed one to Grom.
That is true.
Oats of bull strength.
Oats of bull strength.
That's why I thought Ione was gonna feed it to her.
She was asking how it works. I think it's not coming through again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It would if Minoru has a belt of giant strength, they wouldn't stack. Otherwise, he would just get a +4 to his strength score for 4 minutes, I believe. Should be whatever the minimum is.
Yeah, man, dope up your dog. It's fine.
Does that dire collar add
Don't
an
bump your dog.
The dire collar doesn't give an enhancement bonus to strength, but when, much like you, when doggo gets real big, their size category increases as well.
Okay.
Sound familiar, Del?
It does.
You
Alright,
kaiju fighting some bitch.
Let Ionia hold on to those then. Only use them in emergencies, though. They're very expensive.
Nah.
And
First set of
Needed.
trouble.
first sign of trouble.
Classically, the hold on to resources forever for the rainy day that comes every Tuesday in Concordia, but simultaneously never comes because that's the logical fallacy.
Yep. Just like my long cooldowns in video games. Never the right time.
Yeah, it's how it is, dude. Consumables and tabletop, you just like, I'm gonna use it when I get to the big boss.
Here's what I'm thinking. Since Senya has no potions, we'll have Senya and Kalira take the 2 serious wounds. We'll have Kato, Artoris, and Ionia each take a moderate wounds, and then we just sell the light wounds because they're garbage.
Wait, you were gonna have me take something?
A cure moderate wound potion.
Let me see if that breaks the bank weight-wise.
I already have a bunch of those. So.
Potions don't weigh anything.
Still
Wait,
nice.
they weigh 0.5, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I should probably have one on hand just in case something ever happens to Arbiter and he can't cast the wand.
Did Ionia end up
one-
with 1 or 2 potions of bull strength?
2. I think that was the call, right?
Ionia
Del?
will have two potions, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that was
everyone
one
to-
cure moderate for me.
Yeah, I just want everyone to have at least a decent healing potion on each person. So I'm thinking our 2 frontliners who get hit are Kalira and Senya, so they should take the serious wounds. And then the 3 of us can each take a moderate wound potion. And that's all the potions, except the
Got
light
it.
wound.
So I have 5 of these special ones from Bakken. So I'm good.
Oh, okay. That's right, you took all of Bakken's potions.
I was only with Bakken. You can ask Bakken for potions.
He's very busy making other potions right now.
He's your freaking Yoda.
Yeah.
I guess he's 50 right
Yeah,
now.
didn't Ionia get one of the serious ones, or did we swap those around?
For moderate,
Okay.
but we can give her a serious if she wants. Or I can take a serious. Doesn't matter. What do I have for potions right now? All I had were lights, so...
Yeah, one serious to go around though. I guess I took one. We only had 2, right?
Yeah, so right now, Kalira and Senya have the 2. But Kalira has all those Bakken potions. Do you really need another one? That's what we're
Yes.
saying. Yeah.
I asked. That's why I asked. But yeah, I mean, if you want someone else to have it, that's fine.
That's what we're figuring out.
Yeah, I mean, she is a melee fighter, and she's,
And so is her doggo.
I guess, yeah, she has
Heal.
lower AC.
Most likely, in most
Alright.
situations,
That's true.
That's true.
I'm betting Kalira has the lowest armor class in the party by a lot at this point. What's it, like a 15 to hit you or something?
When
Once
I'm raging, it's 16.
Exactly.
16.
Oh wow, even I have you beat. That's amazing.
I'm approaching when I've got all my buffs rolling.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
here we go.
Oh.
When I've got all.
But how do you do that
when I
all
get
at
all
once?
my
How
buffs
do you put them
rolling.
together into one more complete style?
I know. You should do something about that. No, barbarians don't. Generally, not always. Xenia's an exception, but generally barbarians, yeah, they just become big health sponges.
Oh man, I buff my AC on my barbarians first thing for that exact reason. Whereas Teebs likes to play very fast and loose.
Fast and loose. Does that describe you,
Fast.
T-Boy?
When your
Accurate.
main class feature comes with a built-in penalty to AC, you
You
either
buy a ring of
decide
protection
to
really
short-
quick.
you either decide to shore that up, or you just say,
Nope.
you go, screw it.
Gonna kill them faster. That's my plan.
Reasonable. The best defense is a good greatsword.
Exactly.
Okay, so are we all set then? What was the final?
Who is taking that heavy wound? It's Ione, because Ione can't talk, so I feel like we're making
Ione, that's fine.
Ione's going to take it. All right.
Okay, so then if
Yes.
we're all set and we've got all of that taken care of, the final question before we go bopping into the swamp to go kill some Tiger Lords, help them never financially recover from all the slaughter. Is there anything... Also, are there any smaller potions floating around that Ionia can take to make sure Doggo does not get hecked on? It's a bad bork.
I mean, like so we've
I think we just sold all the light. The light ones. Did we sell those?
we are. They're not. So an average of 5 healing as a standard action is not like. If anything is threatening you, like
She meant moderate, so never mind.
she has a moderate and a serious, so
Got it.
she should be fine. And the rest of us should at least have a moderate on hand.
Okay, so then the last question from me is, what do you want the NPCs to do while you're away? Obviously, things in Concordia, in Rooston, in the region at large are hairy. You've got enemies on all sides. The people are... Mechanically, at the next Kingdom turn, Unrest will probably bump up a little bit if things haven't, like, resolved between here and there, as people are afraid for their lives. That said, you still don't really know where your opponent is, and it's kind of just a, like, there is a clock ticking over top of everyone's head. Eventually, they're going to be able to get back up, and then off they go again. If there's anybody
haven't
you'd like
already.
to send scouting into the region to, like, uncover hexes and things, or if you want to keep everybody home and make sure the home front doesn't fall apart, that certainly is also valid. Important questions to ask, though.
I think the Ash Maidens should do their job and scout and patrol the border, the areas outside the. Because they're little mini marshals now,
Indeed.
are they not? Yeah. We definitely want the kingdom on red alert, battle stations, all that fun stuff. The Uruxi are invited to bunker in with us. That's going to be handled by Juby and Bakken. Chief Sutscale did a hell of a job mobilizing the militia and everyone while we were gone, so I'm going to put him in charge of keeping the militia active, and I think at this point we need to fortify home and have some boots on the ground scouting out the surrounding areas, and I think I don't know about you guys, but I think the scouting could go to the Ash Maidens, and Scale and the militia can secure the home front.
Okay. So
The
then
only
next,
thing-
good.
The only thing I'm... It's just so... I want to deal with the Lich, I just don't know how.
Right, and I think we just need people, we just need to maybe, dig up some leads or something. I don't think the Ash Maidens are going to find the phylactery, but they might stumble across something that provides a hint.
I'm just
That's
worried we're going to come back and it's like, oh, Thornburg's gone.
Or they just won't come back.
Or they'll come back
Yeah.
a fortnight later as zombies. Maybe 2 or 3 fortnights, we'll see. Yeah, I guess also to answer Artoris, you can... Rolling sense motive as insight, since Pathfinder does not have an insight, is fine by me if you ever want to just chuck it at the board to, get a hint. Certainly Artoris is...
Oh, like a hunch?
Yeah. Artoris is wise enough that he should be able to pull a lot of shit out of the ether, whether or not, Esker can.
And also, I wouldn't want. I would send a party of Ash Maidens, not all 10, because we still need to do recruiting. I mean, come on.
Look at this man.
Yeah, you decide how to divvy up your forces. I'm not. That's not me. That's you. You're the boss of the Ash the Ash boss. But
Yeah.
Boss of the Ash boss. Okay, so then with a 40 on sense motive, a 40 this man, he's complaining about rolling low and landing in the mid-20s. We now see why. You'd get a lot of information. What specifically do you want to know?
I guess the most pressing thing is, do I have the sense that as we are now, there is a path before us that we could take that would reasonably lead to, defeating the Lich? You know what I kind of get it, because right now I feel like we're choosing the Tiger Lords because we think there's no, clear path forward to the Lich, and I'm wondering if we're just overlooking something. I think we would all agree that if we knew how to fight the Lich, we would do that instead, because the Tiger Lords might be amassing over there, but they're at least not abducting our people and returning them as zombies. So yeah, I guess that's my main concern. Maybe that's too specific or something, I don't know.
No, that's totally fine. Also, Ionia could throw an augury down, yeah. Shall we roll a chance cube? One of these days I'll play a Gathlin. The Gathlin is just really overweight and I'm just Watto. I'm a Donarian! Arcane magic no work on me! Only bluff check.
I agree with Arcturus that the Lich is probably a more pressing matter than the Tiger Lords. However, the troll lair not being looted is probably the most pressing matter at this point.
However, my goddamn
we're
paycheck.
going to leave and come back to something horrible. Because we basically just did, and then we were just sort of fortunate that they dealt with it, but...
The haunt could be the result of the Lich too. Could be related.
Indeed. Alrighty, so then basically what I need is from Ionia what the particular action.
Oh, that's a good call right there.
Turns out having a diviner in your back pocket real good. First roll will be going after the Tiger Lords in the keep. And then, specifically, is it a... What comes of this? That kind of thing. I guess, is the question... No, I get it.
Basically, will this bring good or bad results in the immediate future?
Right. Alright, I'm gonna make GM rolls. Well, I know Ionia doesn't have a mic right now. If Ionia can't really flavor the augury sans mic.
It might work if she wants to try and mic it up again.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
So the way this looks, I've mentioned these like chance cubes a couple times that my brother gave me a while back. They were the same ones that I used at Candlemere that floated in the air. So I'm just kind of rolling the chance cubes, and they just have different markings on either side to indicate good, bad, neutral.
Alrighty. The dice are yoked. And I'm just trying to the result comes up. One side of either dice is like there are no markings on the surface. It's just a blank, like, here's the thing. And it comes up on the nothing result.
Okay. And then I'll roll again with the question being about pursuing the Lich. Focusing our efforts towards doing that.
The same thing happens. The dice fall exactly in the same spot wherever you're throwing, landing with the exact same faces, pointing the exact same directions. In both times, you get the nothing result.
Maybe we should be focusing on something else right now. Seems like neither good nor bad will come from either of these pursuits at the current moment.
Or maybe it's trying to tell us we should be focusing on both and not one or the other.
So far as, and this is probably the last thing we cover before we have our intermission, so far as the egregious sense motive check comes down, is there a path you should follow? Is there a definitive path that leads to success here? Probably not. There are enemies all over the place, and like, you have bloodied the Tiger Lord's noses. You have knocked out a portion of their forces and probably their high priest. Stands to reason they're gonna want to respond to that. Who knows how? It's really hard to say. That said, there also is a probably, well, not even probably, you're very sure. The Lich is the scariest by far of all of the threats you face right now. There's basically a clock ticking before, like, y'all could leave and come back and Thornburg is burned, or like Concordia has burned to the ground because you were gone, and he teleports in, yotes some fireballs and walls of fire, and then teleports out, and then very Curse of Strahd-esque just trolls you forever and ever. There's also the Hell Knights are an X factor. You're not exactly sure what to make of that, but they are there. But there's not one... I guess the best success is probably go find that Lich right now, do something about him, destroy the phylactery, but like there will still be repercussions when the Tiger Lords show up at Concordia. Or when they, like, whatever it is they end up doing. And
yeah, I guess I would sort of relay that in terms of like have a very strong feeling bordering on divine guidance here that perhaps we should in some capacity be making progress on the Lich threat. I think we all understand that the Lich, unlike the Tiger Lords, has a unique ability to inflict devastation, the likes of which we can't adequately respond if he so chooses, if it amuses him. So, if I might be so bold, maybe it would be one path forward. I would volunteer. I could go talk to the Hell Knights myself, while the rest of you go to the Tiger.
I will say that with the incident at the Soot Scale Caverns recently, my suspicion is that the Lich has already rematerialized.
Mm-hmm.
Decent, or it's a pretty safe assumption to make, I agree. And I know Arcturus is dying to go meet some Hell Knights.
In any case,
That said,
as we go to deliberate, I think that's where we're going to cut this one.
yeah.
Thank y'all for watching and hanging out and helping me plot the demise of 5 wonderful people here on the channel as we nuke them with liches and feed them to kitties and why not both. Well, we'll be back at it next time for more of our Kingmaker actual play. Till then, be sure to like and subscribe for more stuff, and we will see you next time. Say bye, y'all.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.